So welcome to this channel. My name is Omolade Adeyemi. I remain your fashion teacher, the CEO of Lariche Designs. In today's lesson, we are going to teach you how to sew your box split blouse. This, as you can see, I'm putting on a box split blouse. This is what they call the box split blouse. How to achieve this. And I don't want you to forget, every of our sewing is always a concealed sewing. I will need to open up this so that you can see just a little. As you can see, what we do is concealed sewing. So you need to know every of our sewing is always concealed. You don't need to, no one will see any of your stitches outside. And we have few chapters to this video. We're going to show you how to draft the blouse. What I did is on the bust blouse. This is the front of my blouse and this is the back. As you can see, so beautiful. And I try to give it another kind of sleeve. This is the normal sleeve that I did. Then I added this on it. Sorry, let me try and put it on very well. So I added this to the blouse as just a fancy sleeve, just to touch it up. So there are different chapters to this blouse. We have how to draft the blouse, which is the under bust contouring drafting, how to cut out your pattern, how to cut it out on fabric, and how to sew it. Of course, you should have known by now how to take your blouse measurements. So if you're new to this channel, please do well to subscribe. If you're yet to subscribe, don't go and unsubscribe, please. If you're new to this channel, please subscribe, like, drop your comments, and ask your question. Please, your question is very important to us. And if there's anything, any observation, you need to drop it there. We'll attend to every question. Stay tuned. My name is Omolade Adeyemi. Today's teaching is going to be how to sew a box split blouse. We've drafted the pattern, cut it out on fabric. The next thing is to start sewing. So I've cut out my peplum. This is going to be attached to what I'm going to use to the sleeve. I also ironed what they call peplum stay to the sleeve part, because the sleeve is going to be of two categories, the peplum and also the normal fitted long sleeve. So I've added peplum stay. I've ironed peplum stay to the sleeve, and this will be the lining for the sleeve. This is also the upper part of the bodies. I've drafted it, iron it out. What I use to iron it is, for the front part, I doubled stay. I ironed stay. I doubled it to iron it on the front part. And also peplum, the soft wadding. Sorry. I also use soft wadding. What we call soft wadding. I did not use the hard one. So that is what you're seeing out inside here. So those are the two things I ironed there. I doubled the stay, then also soft wadding. That was what I used for the whole front, which is the 3 pieces you're seeing. This is the 3 pieces I used. That's just for the front. These are the 3 pieces for the front. Then for the back, I only use stay just once. I iron it on it just once. Just once. Stay on it. And if you want to use the black also, you can use the black color. But so that is all about it. Then that's all about the upper part. These are the linings for the upper part. Then the last thing is not even the last one. Then this is the peplum that will be under the upper part I just showed you now. This is the peplum. I use peplum stay. I iron peplum stay to it so that it will make the box split stand. It will make my box split stand. I like it when the box split stand. So that's the essence of the peplum stay. And I've also cut the lining. So that's about that. And the last thing is, sorry, second to the last again. I'll be using my zip. This is size 24 of the length. Is length 24 inches, and it's not just the 15 naira zip, as you can see, because the 15 naira zip really most of the time it gives us issues. So it's either you buy the 100 naira own or you buy the 200 naira. It depends on what you want. But the 100 naira own is not really the one, the caterpillar type that they use. That plastic type is not the one I'm talking about. It looks like the 50 naira but more quality than the 50 naira own. So this is 200 naira zip that I use. You can see the you see the difference between this and the 15 naira one. So this is it. This lasts longer and add more, make you look big more than the 15 naira one. Then another thing I'll be adding to my blouse is what we call cord lace. After joining the front pieces, I'm going to attach cord lace to the upper to the front part, and also after joining the pieces for the back, I'm also going to use the cord lace to cover up the back piece. So, and also, where am I going to put the cord lace? Then the sleeve is going to be it's going to be the long sleeve. So it's going to be my sleeve, the longer part, which the Ankara is going to be the shorter part of the sleeve, like I've showed you earlier. This will be the shorter part of the sleeve, and this cord lace is going to be the longer part of the sleeve. So they are still going to be on these two sleeves. So let's get started. So this is the front three pieces. I'm going to join it together by 1/4 of an inch. So I'm going to join it together with this. This is the center piece of the front, and this two are the side piece. One is going to be here and one is going to be here. So these are the three pieces for the front. So I'm going to start joining with this. Then this joining allowance I added is 0.25, which is 1/4 of an inch. So I'm going to hold it together. It's going to be together. Make sure it's aligned. Oops. Bring down your machine. You needle on 0.25 inch. So then we start sewing. Look up the stitch at the beginning, then you keep sewing. Make sure you follow the shape. You don't go off the shape. You need to follow the shape as it is. So this is it for this part of this front. This is it. It's giving us the shape already. So the next thing is to join the other side, which is this part. So I'm going to turn it this way and bring it to the machine, and also join it with 0.25 of an inch. 0.25 inch. 0.25, you call it 0.25 or 1/4 of an inch. It's the same thing. So this is the pieces for the front. So after this, I'll join the lining also for the front piece. So this is the lining for the front. I cut it exactly the same way I cut the Ankara. So it's exactly the same thing. So the next thing is to join it together to the lining. I mean, join the linings together. You know, it's going to be like this. going to be like this, so you join the pieces together accordingly. So let me start with this. I'm also going to join this together by 0.25. That's also quarter. So the next thing is to join the other side, which is going to be like this. It's going to be like this. So I'm going to join it this way by 1/4 of an inch. So this is the front lining. So the next thing is to join the back pieces together. So this is the back pieces. This is the entire back pieces. So this is the center piece and this is the side piece. This is the center piece and this is the side piece. So the center is going to be like this at the end of the day, because this is the zip side. So it's going to be like this at the end of the day. It's going to be like this. This is the zip side. This is also the zip side of this part. So I'm going to join this and this. Excuse me. I'm going to join this and this part together by 1/4 of an inch. So I'm going to place it this way and join it on my machine. And this part also is going to be like this. Then I'll sew it down on my machine like this, so that at the end of the day it will come out like this and this like this. So let's start with this part. So I'm going to sew it down by 1/4 of an inch. So and this part is going to be like this also. So I want to make sure they align. So you keep sewing. I need to cut the thread here also. So at the end of the day, look at it. This is how it's going to come out. This is going to be the outcome. Like I said, this is the zip side, so they had to meet each other. So the next thing now is to join the linings together. So this is the back piece, the back piece lining. So I'm going to remove the pin. And remove this pin. Set the pattern aside. Then pick it one after the other. This is the side piece. And these are the center piece. So it's going to be like this. Like I've notched, this is the zip side. So, and also this is the zip side also. So I'm going to join this and this together like this. Excuse me. So I'm going to join this and this together like this. And this together like this. So let me start with this. I'm putting this aside. Then let's join it by 1/4 of an inch, same way. So I'm going to join the other side also. Make sure it's aligned. So at the end of the day, it has to be like this. So this is it. This is the zip side and this is the zip side. So that is all about joining the upper part. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to iron them out, then join the line, the down part peplum together with the Ankara, then the sleeve also. I want to prepare those things down. So before we move on to the next stage. So this is the down part. I'm going to iron the upper part down, iron it accordingly before doing it. So this is the down part. I want to join the lining and the Ankara together. So I'm joining the down part. I want to join the down part of the Ankara and the lining together, iron it out before fixing it. Before completing this upper part, I'm fixing it to the upper part. So let's join it together by 1/2 inch. Mind you, is a peplum. It has a peplum stay, so you might be having issues joining it. So you need to be careful when joining it because the peplum might possibly drag your hands. So you need to be careful. Make sure everything is under control. So let's keep sewing. Like I did, I've chopped off this before I continue. I've chopped off 1 inch from this upper part. I've chopped off 1 inch from the upper part before joining upper part of the lining before joining it to the Ankara because by the time I sew it down by 1/2 inch, then I'll move it up by 1/2 inch so it will align with what I have. The line will align with the length of the Ankara. So let's keep joining. And if you know you don't know your 1/2 inch, you need to mark it out on the fabric on the lining before you sew at all, so that you have accurate stitches. So your stitches will be accurate, so that you don't have issues at the end of the day. So we are done with the joining. So the next thing is to go and iron it out and push it down by ½ inch with the iron. So this is what I meant by you push it out. So you firstly you iron it out like this. Then after that you bring down ½ inch. You measure ½ inch, you bring it down like this. Then you iron it out so that the length of your lining and the Ankara will align like this. So let's do that. But before that, let's also join the lining of the peplum sleeve together. Let's join that together also, so that we can iron the two out together. So this is one of the sleeve, the peplum sleeve. So I'm going to use the Ankara to turn it out as the lining. So this is going to be like, instead of using the lining, I'll use the Ankara. Reason why is, it's going to stand out. It's going to stand like this. So I won't want the lining to be showing under here. I also want the Ankara to be the thing showing outside here. Then another thing I did is, I did not chop off 1 inch at the upper part of the sleeve because I want it to align here. I want it to be equal. So it doesn't mean it's just the sleeve. I want it to be equal. Since I'm using the Ankara, so I want that part to be equal. By the time I iron it out, you understand what I mean by being equal. So I'm going to sew it down now by ½ inch. So I'm going to continue with the other part of the sleeve. I'm going to continue sewing that part also by ½ inch. So that's that about the joining. The next thing is just to iron it out. So the next thing we are going to do now is we want to iron out. This is the front part. We want to iron it out, making use of this ball. This is a underbust contouring ball. I will have to do a short video clip of how to achieve this. So because this is what I use anyway to iron out this part of the bust so that it won't be this sharp, because we don't need this sharpness on our bust area. So the first thing we are going to do is to iron out the line. You're going to open it up this way and iron it out. After that, you iron the other part also the same way. Hold on, please hold on. In case you don't know, we have an online fashion institute. We are going to teach you full pattern drafting training. We are going to take you from the scratch, how to use your machine, to the climax. You're going to be the best designers in town. For more information, visit our website on www.larichedesigns.com. So after that, you're not going to take the bow. You're going to take the bow, place your front pattern on this round area. On the round area, this, which is this area, you're going to place the swollen, the bulge part, the part that is inside this side of your blouse. You place it on that part, on the round part of your bow, which is the breast bow. It's not just ordinary bow, it's the underbust, it's the breast bow. You iron it out like this. Iron it out like this. Iron it out, put a little pressure on it. Iron it out like this. Iron it out like this. Sorry, I need to scrub off this off the iron. So you iron it like this. You come to the front. You iron it to the back. Take it to the front. Take it to this side. Take it to this side. Take it to the back and to this side. You iron it to the point that bulginess will disappear, and the breast part, that part would have formed, you would have seen a circle like the breasts, like a cup. You would have seen a shape coming out like the cup. So that's when you know you're done. You have to do it like severally. This is just the process. But you need to be mindful of your fabric so that it won't get pumped. Make sure you're not using iron that is so hot. So just keep doing it. Pattern drafters are not always in a hurry, because at the end of every achievement, it always come out very beautiful. So you don't need to be in a hurry when sewing your customers' clothes. That is why you need to give them time. They will not bring clothes to you today and you tell them come back tomorrow to have it. No, you need to put in your best in achieving that style. Trying to do the other side. So I'm not done with this, but we still have a little ironing there to do. Still need to do more on that part. So still going back there, but I need to keep doing this part. So I've ironed it out now. So this is the outcome. It's no more like this sharp. The sharp shape is giving us the other time. It's not like that anymore. So look at the inside. You need to iron it very well to give you that round shape inside of it. So and I've ironed the back part also. I've ironed the back part. So the next thing I'm going to do is, this style is a style I want to cover up the Ankara with a cord lace. I want to cover it up with a cord lace. So this is the lace I'm going to use to cover it up. So this lace is called cord lace. So what I'm going to do now is to take my pin I'm going to take my pin, set the back aside. I'm going to use it to cover the front and the back up. So let's see where the front of the cord is. So this is the back and this is the front. So I'm going to cover it up this way. Assuming we have mannequin at home, you're going to place this the Ankara, the front part on your mannequin, then you pin it down on the mannequin. But since we did not have mannequin here at home, we need to use our handikin. So sorry for using that language. So we are going to use our hand and pin it down. So now I'm trying to pin it down. Pin it down according to the way the Ankara is. We are not going to alterate, we are not going to minus from it. So it's going to be the exact Ankara, the way the Ankara is. So I've pinned it down accordingly. So it's okay like this. So this is it. So I'm going to cut it out following the Ankara shape. Same neckline. So I'm tracing out the neckline we have on the Ankara. So this is the shape for the front. If I try to put it on my body now, you can see it's exactly what I want. Exactly. So I'm going to do the same thing for the back, for the two back pieces. So let's do the back. I've laid the lace on one of the back pieces. One of the back pieces, I'm going to pin it down. You can see the back is flat, so we won't be having issues with the back. So I've pinned it down. The next thing is to cut it out. So let's cut. So this is one side of it. We're going to do the same thing on the other side of the back. So this is the other side of the back. I've placed the lace on it. So I'm going to pin it down and cut it out. So the next thing I'm going to do is to cut it out. So I'm going to place this the lining on it and turn out the neckline by 1/2 inch. I'm going to turn the neckline by 1/2 inch. So I'm going to measure 1/2 inch here and mark it. Then I'll place it on it like this, then start sewing. So when you get to this zip part, you're going to measure 1 inch. Measure 1 inch for the zip allowance. You know we left 1 inch for zip allowance here. So you're going to measure 1 inch. Then your 1/2 inch is going to end at that 1 inch point. So you're not going to sew it all through because zip is still coming inside. So we don't want to lose again. We don't want to lose it by the time we want to fix our zip. So that's the neckline. And what we are going to do is to cut the thread. We'll notch it, do what they call notching. You need to be careful with the notching so that you don't cut it out of the stitches, because we don't need to cut out of the, sorry, I need to remove this pin. Because by the time you cut it beyond the sewing, you need to resew that part and it will be extending the length of your neckline. So you need to be careful with the notching. There is a pin disturbing me at that point. I need to remove it. Notching will only make your neckline feel relaxed. I've explained that earlier. I've explained it in our previous lesson that it will make the neckline relaxed. So after you've notched it, you're going to do what they call top stitching. So the top stitching will fall on the lining, not on the Ankara, not on your fabric. You're going to do that close to the first sewing. to lock your stitch. Then cut the thread. So this is it. This is the outcome. So we are going to do the same thing to the other part of the neckline. I mean the back. So I'm trying to pin it down. Though I'm still going to remove my pins, but it's just to make me see the outcome that is correct and to make the neckline relax, lay down, so I don't sew beyond what I have. So I'm going to pick the neck back. The next the other part of the back, I'm going to pick the other part of the back now and sew the neckline down. So let's go. So this is the lining for the other side of the back. So I'm placing the face of the lining. I mean the outer part is going to face. Let me say the face is they are going to face each other. Then I'm going to mark 1 inch for zip allowance on the lining. 1 inch. Then I'll sew the neckline down by ½ inch. Cut the thread and notch it. I think there's a pin here. There's a pin disturbing me there. So I'm going to notch it. Do the same process that I did for the other side. Notch it, top stitch, and turn it out. So I'm going to top stitch this way. So I'm done with the top stitching. So the next thing is to cut. I want to pin it down like this. The same thing, the way I did for the other side. So I just want to pin it down. It's just to pin it down. So this is the back neck. So the next thing is the front neckline. So this is the front lining. I'm going to place it like this and sew it down all through by ½ inch. So I'm going to do the same thing I did for the back. I'm going to notch. I'm going to notch. then top stitch. So this is it. I'm going to pin it down the same way I did for the back. So what I'm going to do next is to join the shoulder. To join the shoulder of the front and the back to it like this. You know, this is the side. This is the side and this is at the side of the front. So I'm going to join it like this. Join the shoulder. This one is going to be placed this way. This is going to be placed this way. So it's going to be like this. So I'm going to start with this first. It's going to be like this. Sorry, let me remove this pin. It's disturbing me. So I'm going to open it up this way. Make sure it's aligned because I'm going to sew it down by 1/2 inch. So this is it. I'm going to place it this way and sew it down by 1/2 inch. So this will be the outcome. It's going to be like this. So I'm going to do the same thing to the other side. I'm going to place it down like this. So I need to remove this pin. So it's going to be like this. It's going to face each other like this. Make sure the cloth start from where the cloth started from and the lining is starting from where the lining is. So you need to make sure they align properly. So sorry, I want to start with the fabric joining first. Like this. I'm going to sew it down by 1/2 inch. Sorry, I need to cut the threads. So this is the outcome. So this is how it's going to be. So this is it. Look at it here. Look at it at the front. Look at it at the back. And look at this side also. Look at it here. Look at it at the back. So the next thing now is to join the sides. So I'm going to start with the joining of the main cloth. Like I'm going to join the Ankara with the lace together first before the lining. So I'm going to join it together first. So and remember what we left for the allowance, for the joining allowance is 1 inch. So you're going to place it together like this. It's going to be together like this. You measure your 1 inch. Then fixing, pin your needle at that point and drop the machine. So we want to sew the lace and the Ankara together first. So we're going to mark 1 inch. So sew it down by that 1 inch. So this is it. So we want to remove the pin. So the next thing is to join the other side. Like this. It's going to be like this. I need to join this other side like this. But I'm going to make sure the down part align first. That one is very important. Then I'll measure my 1 inch. So like I said, like I've told you earlier, the down part needs to align. You see this side, the back side is like this. You don't need to panic. It will align. It will align. This is it. It will align. So the next thing we are going to do is to join the side lining together. This is the lining. We're going to join it like this. The same way we did the fabric is also what we're going to do to the lining. So we're going to join it down by 1 inch. I'm going to measure 1 inch. So we'll do the same thing on the other side. You measure 1 inch. You cut the threads. So when you turn it out, this is what it will give you. So this is it. So the next thing we are going to do is to start with the box pleat now. We're going to join the down part, which is the peplum, to the upper part of this blouse. So let's pick up the peplum. I want to attach the peplum to the upper part of the fabric, so I've notched the 4 edges. This is first, this is the second, we have the third, we have the fourth. So the next thing is, from here to this, from this point to this side of the upper part is where this notch is going to end. So it has to end there. Then from this part to this to the center front, another notch is going to end there. From this part to this side, another notch is going to end there. Then from this side to the end of the upper part, another notch is going to end there, making the 4th notch. So we are going to start now. I'm going to remove the lining. Then let's start the work. This is a work. I'm going to sew it to this upper part by 1/2 inch. Then measure the zip allowance first, which is 1 inch. So I'm going to start sewing 1/2 inch. So before I get to the 1 inch point, I'm going to have to start my pleats. One is going to end at that 1 inch point. It's going to start this way. So you drop it, sew by 1/2 inch. So continue, we do another pleat. I'm not sure we're going to finish up the peplum, so just keep doing it. So before we end this, we'll pleat another. Make sure what you're folding is the same thing. So sew it down by 1/2 inch. So we're going to form another piece please. We sew it down by 1/2 inch. And before we finish that part, we're going to do another here. I'm going to pick another place. You make sure it kisses the one inside. Then you drop it. Before you finish that, let's peep in and see what we are doing. So as you can see, this is what we are doing. Sorry, I want to look at what I did here, so that at the end of the day, by the time I pick my zip allowance and the other side of the zip allowance, they will face each other like this. What we have here will be at the other side of that part. So I'm trying to look at what I'm doing. I want to see what I'll be having here. Nope. So this is what I should have at the end of it. I think there should be just one pleat at the end of it. It's going to be like this. Let's see the outcome of what we did. Let's see it outside. Wow. Wow. This is it. This is how it's going to be. Let me stand it on my table. So this is it. By the time I iron it out, you see the outcome. So I have an excess here. I want to chop that off. At least we've tried with the one we have. We're able to manage it. So you just place your ruler on it and so then you chop it off. I've folded the lining together, so I'm cutting the two. So the next thing is to join the lining, the upper parts and the peplum together, the lining of the peplum together. So it's going to be like this. So it's going to be like this. I've notched the lining also. So I'm going to do the same thing, the same way I kiss the pleat on the fabric is also the same way I'm going to make a kiss pleat on this upper part of the lining. So I'm going to pleat this peplum, the lining, I'm going to pleat it on the upper part of the lining also. So let's go to our machine. I'm going to start the same way I started the fabric. I'm going to sew my I'm going to mark the zip allowance, which is the 1 inch for our zip allowance. Then I'll start the box pleats the same way I did for the Ankara. So each notching has to end be at each point. finished. We are done with the lining. So it's just the remaining thing is the zip and the sleeve. So let me turn it out now so that you can see what we did. So this is how it's going to be. Though I'm still going to iron it out. Then pick the zip. So I'm still going to sew the zip. So look at the outcome already. It's beautiful. Beautiful. It's beautiful. I like it. Especially when you're putting it on a straight long skirt or a straight short skirt, straight short skirt. You really love it, so wait for the outcome. So the next thing now is to fix our zip. We're going to start from the zip fixing is going to start from this folding. So you're going to measure 1 inch out, 1 inch in, then you fix your zip all through. So I'm going to measure 1 inch now. From here, I'm going to measure 1 inch. This is my 1 inch. So I'm going to place the zip. So it's going to be like this. You turn it upside down like this. So this part is going to be here. Then I'm going to pin it down. So make sure you're not pinning the lining alongside with it, because we are going to sew the zip on the fabric alone, not with the lining. So the next thing is to sew it. Mind you, you're going to remove the lining. We are not sewing it on the lining. So you're going to make sure you're sewing it at the back of the teeth, so that the zip will be so close. You don't want to sew it on the teeth so as not to spoil the zip, but you need to sew it close. You need to make it close. So that's all about this side. We're going to remove the pin now and fix the other side. Let me cut up the thread. Let me check it first if it's close. Okay. So let's remove the pins. So after that, we are going to do the same thing on the other side. And I want you to note that this joining of this side, like the joining of the waistline of this part, has to align with the joining of this other side waistline. It has to align. It has to be on the same page. So this is it. It has to be on the same page. So at that point, you can also pin it down. Sorry, I've pinned the lining along, so I need to remove the lining. So like I told you, you're not to sew it down with the lining. You make that one, you sew it separately. You sew it on the fabric. And this part has to level up. It has to be on the same page with this part. So it has to be on the same page like this. So let's start sewing. Or better still, we can try to remove the, you can try to pull down the zip. I want to separate this so that it will be easy for me to fix. So make sure you push the lining aside. So we're done with the other side. So let's remove the pins. So let's check what we did, if it's aligned, because it has to align before we turn it up with the lining. Yeah, it's aligned. It's aligned at the back. So it's aligned at the back. I think the only thing we need is to sew it more close to the to the teeth of the fabric, but I need to leave it because if I make it so close to it like that, more than this, the cord lace will be entering inside the teeth of the zip, so I need to spoil the zip before we know it. So but every other part is okay. So now we can turn it out with our lining. So I want to zip it up before I turn it out with lining. So after I've fixed the zip on the fabric, I want to turn it out with the lining. Because what we use is a very hard peplum stay, it will be difficult for us to bring the whole thing out, sew it down, do the lining this way, the normal way we should have done it, then bring it out. It will be difficult for the whole thing to come out through the armhole. What we are going to do is to use this side. Each armhole, we use each armhole to bring out the two sides. So this part, I'm going to come out this way. So I'm going to turn it out that way, this way, and sew it down. So if I want to sew it, I'm going to fold that ½ inch. I'm going to fold it this way, fold it like this, then make sure the lining align with the every point align together, like this joining of the lining and the joining of the waist are on the same page. So I'm going to sew it close to the initial sewing. What I mean by the initial sewing is the zip sewing. So it's not a must is on that zip sewing, but close to it. So let's get to work. So you just need to make sure the lining and the anchor, they're on the same line. So after that, I'm going to sew the neckline. The neckline back. I open up 1 inch on that part, so I'm going to join it back to the neckline. So I'm going to sew that part down by ½ inch to this point. Then the excess zip, I'm going to chop it off. So I'm going to do the other side. Let me cut the thread here. Now turn it out. So now turn it out this way. I'm turning it out from that armhole. Let me use my zip to push it out. It's because of the ask tape, nothing else. I mean the peplum tape. So it's out. So this part is going to be like this. So it's going to be like this. So did you see it? So this is how it's going to be. So the next thing is to do the other side. So I'm going to do it the same way I did the other side. Turn it this way. I'm going to fold it down by that 1/2 inch. Then sew it down all through. So it has to be close to the zip. But because you are not seeing it out here, I'm using my hand to trace where the zip is. This is the tip of my zip, so you can still move close. So the next thing is to sew the neckline down by 1/2 inch, the same way I did the other side. I'm going to cut the thread, the excess, excuse me, the excess zip. And also turn it out from that part. So I'm going to use the scissors to push it out the same way I did for the other side. So we are done fixing the zip. The last but not the least thing we are going to do is the sleeve. So let's fix the sleeve. The flare I drafted, I wanted to fix in this flare. So I now decided to change my mind and give it another shape. I just tried to give it this shape. So this is the look we're going to have for the sleeves. So next thing is to fix in the sleeves. So let's go. So this is the flare that is going to be under, then before the cord lace. So this is going to be under like this. So this is where I notch, and this is the center of the sleeve. This is the shoulder side. So it's going to come this way. So it's going to come this way. So I'll try and pin it down round the armhole. I've pinned the flare round the armhole, and I'm placing the cord lace on it now because the two has to be together. So, and I'm going to sew it down by ½ inch. So I'm starting from the side. You need to go easy because of the thickness of that part, because of the thickness of the peplum stay. And we also have to make sure the lining is not folding. So we need to keep checking what is going on under. So when we get here, we need to remove it and start from the other end again. This is how the outcome is going to look. This is how it's going to be. So we are done with this part of the sleeve. So let's turn it out and let's remove the pins first and turn it out to see what we've done. We need to be careful and make sure we remove the whole pin that we have along the arm also. So this is how it's going to be. This is the outcome of the sleeve. So this is how it's going to be. This is it. So the next thing is to fix the other side of the sleeve. I'm going to make sure the lining and the fabric align. Sorry, I want to hold that part down. Then move to the center. And I'm going to place this part that I've notched. I'm going to place it to to the shoulder here, to the tip of the shoulder here. So pin it there. I'm going to pin that down round the armhole. So this is the other sleeve. I've pinned the flare round the armhole. I've pinned it round the armhole. So the next thing I'm going to do is to start with the lace. So this is the lace, the other sleeve. So I'm going to start, you can see this is the joining here. So I'm going to start from the side of my blouse. So I'm going to place this side also, the joining here to the joining of the side of my armhole. So I'm going to sew it around the same way I did for the other sleeve by ½ inch. So let's start. So when I get to the the shoulder side, I'll have to stop there and continue from the other side. The same way I did for the first sleeve I fixed. So we are done with this sleeve, with the other sleeve also. So the next thing is to remove the pins. And that will be the end of our box pleat blouse. Hold on, please hold on. In case you don't know, we have an online fashion institute. We are going to teach you full pattern drafting training. We are going to take you from the scratch, how to use your machine, to the climax. You're going to be the best designers in town. For more information, visit our website on www.larichedesigns.com.